Another corner of the country battered by storms this week. In West Wales, trees have blocked roads, power's been cut off and train lines have been shut down. For the last century, we've tried to protect coastal communities like this with sea walls, shingle banks and breakwaters. But if we're going to live in a world of more powerful storms and rising sea levels, we might have to accept that cannot continue forever. Here in Gwent, there are controversial new plans to protect and save some coastal villages, while others, like this one, Fairbourne, could be left to the elements.
Fairbourne's a lovely little place. It's very quiet. It's a traditional bucket and spade holiday destination. It's a slow-paced community. Everyone knows each other. It's an old-fashioned kind of place.
Fairbourne was built just over 100 years ago as a holiday village for industrial workers. These days, most of the 1,000 or so residents have retired here for a quiet life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Remember that we have the lowest average wage in the whole of the British Isles around here. Families are surviving on £16,000 to £18,000 a year. So they don't have the money or the choice that money gives you to just move somewhere else.
But this could be the first community in the UK to be lost to climate change. A report commissioned by the local authority found the rise in sea levels predicted over the next century will mean the cost of maintaining coastal protection is too high. Under the plans now being put forward, a new line of defence will be set up here along this railway line at the back of the village. That area over there will then be at risk of serious flooding. So up to 400 families and local businesses will be told to relocate or moved away. On the small parade of shops in the heart of the village, they're working to extend the local Indian restaurant.
And basically people are panicking, they're worried, you know, most of them, this is a retirement home. You know, people buy houses here, they could be their pension fund, and people are just panicking. A lot of people are worried. Very worried.
Very worried.
But difficult decisions made here are not made in isolation. As sea levels rise, we'll have to decide whether to spend more on flood defences as a country. In planning terms, there are three main options. The first, attack as they have in the Netherlands, reclaim land and continue living just above the waterline. It doesn't come cheap. Or hold the line, build yourself a higher sea wall. Your coast is intact and your feet are dry, but is it sustainable? Then there is the Fairbourne option, known as managed retreat. It's cheaper, but the question of who is forced out is emotionally charged.
The storms being generated are becoming more intense and more unpredictable. So there is going to be greater impacts of storms because the higher sea levels will bring the storm waves closer to the shoreline. Now it will be a decision based on the cost of defending, and simple as that. We can defend, but at cost.
Uprooting an entire community, though, is never going to happen without a fight.
We're experiencing very extreme weather patterns at the moment. There are people in England who are suffering terribly. You see on the news houses falling off cliffs into the sea. It's not just Fairbourne and the Welsh coast. So yes, we have to think long term. But the way they've gone about it, they've got the shoreline management plan and then said, oh, and then we're going to do a managed retreat. It's almost as though they put the cart before the horse. They have to realise the enormous consequences on people's lives.
The reaction in Fairbourne to these plans has ranged from disbelief to fury. The council says it's simply not possible to defend every part of the Welsh coast, and ignoring the problem is simply not an option. These are difficult choices then, which other parts of the UK may soon have to face.